kind of want to do it again to see what it looks like on my.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Two Player Podcast with Matt Likes Games and Ham Solo. Enjoy the show. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Two Player Podcast with Matt Likes Games and Ham Solo. Enjoy the show. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Two Player Podcast with Matt Likes Games and Ham Solo. Enjoy the show.
Let's bring up the stream. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Two Player Podcast with myself and Ham Solo. Ham, how are you doing, sir, this week?
I'm doing pretty well. Today was my daughter's first day of school, so I had to get up all extra early and make sure that she was all ready to go and whatnot. So I've been up for a while now.
Yeah. Hey, man, that's nice. That's nice. At least you were early. You were early, because I was not. I was definitely not early. I woke up early and went right back to sleep. I got up like 10 minutes before this. But we're here now. What have you been playing this week? You beat Atlas Fallen, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah, I beat Atlas Fallen. I also beat Exo Primal. I always want to say Mecha.
Yeah.
Exo Primal. Um, I've been playing a lot of Vampire Survivors with the wife. I already 100%ed the game, but she wants to do it now as well, and she's pretty far into the game. So we've been playing the hell out of the 2-player co-op in that game, and I mean, it's a lot of fun. We've definitely argued a few times on who's gonna pick what, but
Yeah.
but it was but it was all in good fun, and we even played with my 5-year-old daughter as well too, 3-player co-op. So that
Mhm.
was interesting.
Is
But
it up to
she
4?
couldn't hang. What yeah, it's up to 4.
Okay.
4-player co-op, local. Um It's hard to keep her attention for 30 minutes straight, seeing that those, yeah, So,
Mhm.
we played with her a couple times, but it didn't really work out. So it's just pretty much me and my wife going at it, and it's an absolute blast. Other than that, I'm really just mostly playing things to, waste time until Starfield comes out. Like for
Dude, I
instance,
feel that.
something I haven't touched forever that I was like, let me throw this on and play it because whatever. I was playing just before I came in here, Yakuza Zero, right?
Oh, yeah.
Talk
Okay.
about talk about random, right? So so like literally reaching in the bag and just like each day I feel like each day I'm playing something different or like trying to watch TV shows or just whatever to keep myself busy while I wait for the game I dropped over like $350 on at this point because I paid
Yeah.
for the Constellation edition and got the upgrade, the premium upgrade,
Mhm.
and that with all of that with tax is like 350. So
Yeah.
I think I'm pretty set. But unfortunately, if you've noticed, I'm not wearing a headset. So I'm listening to you through my computer speakers, and I got to go to Best Buy after physical therapy later today and get myself a new headset because this
Uh,
one stopped charging. The one that that I've had for years. Oh man, I was just like talking to somebody about like how this headset might be better than my Xbox headset because of the durability, and then it breaks.
damn. Dude,
So it's just like I don't know, whatever.
speaking of headsets, dude, mine's holding on by a thread because on this side, it's got some tape on the side of it. I noticed a few days ago, I was like, this feels loose. I don't know what's going on with that. And then I picked it up yesterday and checked it. I'm like, oh, it's cracked, like on the side. And I was just like, dude, I'm taping it up. It's like $150. I'm like, I'll get a headset. I'll get a cheap headset or something
Exactly.
later. But
Those
right now, it's
the
holding
new
on.
ones that go the new those new headphones that you're wearing, the Stealth 700 Gen 2s,
Yeah.
Max. Those are like almost $200. I think it's like 179 at Best
Yep.
Buy.
Yep.
But I mean the cool thing is it goes to all 3 consoles. But
That's the nice thing, man.
but yeah, the bad or not all 3, but like, Xbox, PlayStation, and PC, it hooks up
Hmm.
seamlessly to all of those. And they sound really good. For me, I got a big head and I have hair, so it doesn't not a good match for those headphones. They just squeeze the life out of me. But other than that,
Yeah.
like if anybody's in the market looking for a headphone and looking for headphones and they're listening to this, like I recommend those as long as your head isn't massive like mine.
Yeah.
They're really comfortable. If you got a big head like myself, I highly recommend the Xbox wireless headsets because they are comfortable and they have pretty good wear and tear for the price. Only
Yeah.
$100. I've had mine for over about 2 years, or pretty much right whenever they came out initially. So not last year, but the year before. in like I think it was around like March or April. Um, so yeah, about 2 years, I'd say, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Um, and all I've had to replace was my ear cuffs
Oh,
after
that's
2 years
hilarious.
because just because they wore. And they like literally the left ear cup did the exact same thing as the right ear cup. So eventually it'll just like that pleather or whatever that's on there will wear away and it will strip along the interior and then just kind of peel itself away from the ear cup eventually.
Yeah.
Um and yeah, it's pretty shitty, but it's only like 15 bucks to replace compared to buying another $100 headset. So I'll
It's
take
better than that.
it.
Yeah,
I mean,
Vinny in the
because these
chat. What's up?
these because these right, my ear cups are worn. So you see this side kind of fell off. I can still I can still attach it, but these headsets, the charging port right here, which is like mini USB, which
Oh yeah.
stinks.
Oh yeah.
The charging port busted, as many USB charging ports always do,
Yep.
right? So
100%.
that's the nice thing about the Xbox wireless headset is it's USB Type C.
Yeah.
So it's just like the cell phones, just like my camera, just like iPhones nowadays, which is crazy, right? iPhones are going to USB Type C. So
Finally.
um it's just like, yeah, it stinks having anything mini USB or micro USB or whatever the hell they want to call it. I think it's micro USB, but whatever.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It's trash.
Vinny in the chat said this same thing about his ear cushions. Said his HyperX wireless headset has lasted him 4 years, which is insane. The only thing he had to buy was the replacement ear cushions for $10. He says he also
Yep,
has
that
a
was the
big head.
same thing. That I like I didn't even have to replace the ear cushions on these things. If it wasn't for the charging port, if the charging port was USB Type C, these would be the best headsets I've ever had.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, that micro USB is just it just stinks. Like having to
Yeah.
use that, like it just doesn't connect very well. And I know it doesn't connect very well because every single one that I've had, which I've had like not even kidding, at least 10 of them, 10 different chargers that I tried to use in it, and like some of them it takes and some of it doesn't. And it's the same thing for my light, which takes the same type of port. And my light always kind of flickers, especially if it gets just touched just a little bit. So it's totally those chargers. They just suck.
Yeah. They had a micro USB port on that Razer Siren mic I had before this one, and it stunk. That's why I have this one. That is why I have this one. It's not
Yeah,
good.
I mean, those were the chargers where you had to like wrap them around your phones back in the day and stuff like that because it'd never hold a charge.
Exactly. They just die after like 2-3 weeks of use. These things were terrible. But
Yeah, it always had to be at like an angle or else it doesn't like collect the charge.
yep. Dude, speaking of playing things to wait for Starfield, man, that's kind of the boat I'm in, dude. Last night, dude, I was up until like 2:30, and it felt like I don't know, every 10-15 minutes I was starting a new game. I was just playing something else. Mike saw I was streaming. I was playing Skate. I went to Oblivion. I tried Kingdom Come Deliverance. I was like, I don't know what to do, Ham. I don't know what to do. I'm at a loss. I want to play Starfield, and everything I play isn't Starfield, and it's upsetting. And then
Yeah, I imagine.
it's just we're so close to what is it? The 23rd today. It's the 31st. We'll be playing Starfield. Mike,
Hmm.
you stink, bud. Mike's in the chat. Back from the Dead's in the chat. Appreciate you. Back from the Dead says His Astro A40s are doing the same, but you can replace them if he wants to. I just want a new pair though because they're so old. Yeah, you should buy a Game of the Year Armor Core 6 that comes out tomorrow. Well, between right now, Vinny, I'm saving some money right now, and also I'm not buying a game right before Starfield. I mean, that game looks awesome. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. But Starfield's right around the corner. I'm gonna boot up Armored Core, play it until Starfield, and then I probably won't touch it the rest of the year. And I feel kind of silly buying that right now, even though it does look sick. Um, same for Moors of Avium, honestly. Moors of Avium looks sick. Didn't review the best, but it looks awesome. I just can't get it right now. Can't bring myself to buy that right now. Um, but we can move on to some topics here really quickly. And I'm gonna bring them up on my end so that I can see them. But I'm gonna keep this Microsoft stream going here. But the first topic that I want to bring up, well, we might as well cover Gamescom and get that out of the way real quick, right? I mean, there was some stuff there. You watched it, or you skimmed through it last night because you didn't watch it live. Which God bless you for that, Ham. Uh, did anything before we dive into it? Did anything catch your eye from Gamescom? Like anything you remember in your head that you really liked?
First Descendants. That was definitely something I want to check out and see more of.
Yeah,
There was that Crimson game,
Crimson Desert.
Crimson Desert that looks really interesting. It's weird because it looks amazing one second and then stale the next, and then amazing again and then stale. But it feels like the things that it's working with is pulling from a lot of like really dope games that I've played in the past. Tears of the Kingdom, it reminded me of, with the whole like areas being mixed all over the place. The weird flying I thought was pretty cool. Um, what was it? Riding some of those like carriages reminded me of Red Dead a little
Yeah,
bit. Where he jacked that carriage from that person. Some of the enemy bosses reminded me of Immortals Phoenix Rising, where you're fighting like some like weird robotic looking enemy. It just had a mix of a lot of good things, and then it reminded me of Black Desert as well, with some of the dryness in some of the areas. So
okay.
I think it has a lot of potential to be good, as long as that dry feeling that I kind of got from it doesn't linger too much. But looks like it has a lot of action. Looks like it's going to be a big game with a lot of different stuff to do and a lot of different stuff to figure out. So, I mean, I'm interested to see more from it, but I think it was you, Matt, that I said this to. I don't remember, but I'd like to see like a mission in that game. Just see what like a
Yeah,
regular like side mission, like a 15-minute side mission, and just see what the start of the mission looks like, what maybe fighting for that mission, and then like going back to whatever. I just want to see what like type of checklist things they have within the games, or within that game to make it as interesting as it possibly can be for me.
yeah.
But let's see if there's any other games that I'm thinking of. Obviously, Modern Warfare 3 looked really good.
Hmm.
Starfield, of course, that was there. Cyberpunk, all the new additions in
Yeah, dude.
Rechain, or like the reimagine, I guess, that they're doing with the game. Looked pretty interesting, and it looked really tough, especially the cop system looked pretty cool that they
Yeah.
switched upon. And also the car combat looked insane. It was like an armored core in the middle of the fucking highway kind of feeling.
Hmm.
Like, did you see that truck when it was letting off the missiles? I was like,
The
what
missiles.
the hell
Yep.
is happening here? But I think of the big name titles that are on the top of my head. That looked those were the games that hit me the hardest that I can remember the best.
Yeah, on a lot of those games. I'm right there with you. Vinny says, "What do you think of what do y'all think of the Warhaven?" Warhaven was, if I'm not mistaken,
The
the
multiplayer PvP game,
yeah, multiplayer PvP.
free on Steam.
Yeah, is it out now? Or is it like an early access thing? I can't remember what they said.
I don't know exactly, but that game seemed like a cooler version
Chivalry.
of Chivalry, and I'm not sure. Like right now, I see that, and I'm just like, I don't got time for that.
Yeah, I don't know about that game. Like, it's not that I don't like multiplayer because I love multiplayer. It's just when you show me a game and a trailer specifically like that where it looks so awesome, and then you're like, it's multiplayer only. I'm like, oh, okay. Like, it's cool to have multiplayer, but if it's only multiplayer, then I'm like, yeah, a little bit bummed. But Mike in the chat
Just a second,
says,
I'll be right back, Matt. Just a second.
all right, man. Mike in the chat says Armored Core 6 reviews are up. He said at an 87 on Metacritic. Nice. Not bad at all. Not bad at all. I'm gonna bring that up on my end actually. Oh my god. Mike, if you're in the chat still, how many reviews are there? Back from the Dead says that's a no from me then. I got Chivalry and For Honor. Dude, I got For Honor when that came out and I never really played it. It's just been sitting there and I've had it for years at this point. Armor Core 6 Metacritic. Oh my god, just take me to Metacritic, please. Here we go. Sitting at an 87 on PS5 with 29 critic reviews. Sitting at 91 on PC. Oh, well, overall reviews, Mike, it'll just tell you, like, based on, it'll tell you the score, and then it'll say based on whatever number of views. Reviews, my bad. But PS5 has the most reviews. Xbox doesn't have any. I'm assuming they didn't give codes out for Xbox. So PC and PS5 are where the reviews are. And PS5's a little bit behind PC, but either way, game looks like it's gonna be a banger. You know, just another reason that Jeff Keighley needs to move that list of games to 10 instead of 6. Please do that, Jeff Keighley. Good lord.
All right, sorry.
Yo, what's up? So
yeah, I had a this appliance place called me because my freezer, the stripping on it to like keep it closed is like falling off.
Yep.
So it's like not freezing properly, and it's also kind of leaking into my regular fridge and like making it too cold in there. So I had to get that. I had to take that call. So I apologize.
I don't blame you. I don't blame you. That's definitely that can be an emergency. But yeah, Mike in the chat said that Armor Core 6 reviews are up, and on PC it's got 91. On PS5 it's got an 87. So it looks like
what's been going on with the PS5 lately, man? It's been shooting down all these like last year or whatever. I swear PC was like the culprit of like low scores.
Yeah.
But as of recently, it seems like the PS5 has been doing it. But like, don't forget, like it's the opposite though. So I know I'm saying one thing, but it's the opposite for Fort Solace that came out yesterday.
Ooh, yeah. Did that actually drop yesterday?
Yeah.
I thought it had been out for a while and they were just talking about it.
That's what I thought too. But somebody had told me that no, it just dropped, and
Damn.
yeah,
Mike says PS5
tragic.
trash, and hey, it's
Damn,
it's
come on, you ain't got to say that.
it's an opinion that you could argue is true. You could argue it's a fact. I'm not going to, but you could. You could make that argument.
You said
Um,
what you needed to say.
but yeah, dude, Armored Core 6 looks good. Hopefully y'all enjoy it. Alls I need is my Starfield, and I will be a okay. But speaking of Gamescom, as we were, you brought up a good number of games there that looked really awesome. For me, from that show, the standouts, uh, off the top of my head, First Ascendant was your first two actually. First Ascendant and Crimson Desert. First Ascendant looks sick. I remember they showed that. Was that at Summer Games Fest? I believe they showed that the first time, and I was like, "This looks interesting."
It was during the second show for Xbox's showcase.
Mm-hmm.
It was shortly after I think they were talking about Cyberpunk
Oh, you're right. It was. Yeah, I remember
with
seeing that and thinking,
Keanu and stuff like that.
I was like, "This looks interesting," and I wanted to see more of the game, and we saw some more of the game, and it looks phenomenal. Unreal Engine 5 game. Uh, it's co-op. I think it looks like it's up to 4 players. I could be wrong. It might be 3. I have to watch that trailer again. In fact, you know
I think
what?
you're right about the 4, but we'll see.
Let's bring up that trailer real quick. Descendant. And I'll let that play in the background while we talk about it. But yeah, dude, that game looks sick, and it's just a really good looking game too. It's Unreal Engine 5, so we'll see how it runs and everything whenever that gets here, but damn, it looks good. It just looks good, man. And speaking of Unreal Engine 5, before I get into the next game I want to talk about, Black Myth Wukong. I was listening to you guys talk about it, and Loke was very much under the impression like this looks like vaporware. And I watched it. I was like, this looks about what I'd expect. This looks fine. Doesn't look as good as you said it last night. Doesn't look as good as when they first showed it, but it looks like it could be real. I believe it when I see that. Mike says he loves the booty shot. Yeah, in this trailer, there's a shot where it's just like close up with the camera, and then a chick's ass is right there for like 2 seconds. Just super close up on. I'm like, okay, I appreciate the shot. But yeah, this game looks sick. I mean, Black Myth Wukong. Do you have any plans to get Black Myth Wukong? Yeah.
Probably on a sale. I mean, I'm not, and I was talking to Mike about this when you went to go make some food yesterday. I was
Mm-hmm.
just like, I don't know if it's just me, but I feel like everyone and their mama is trying to make a Souls like game,
They are.
and I'm good on that. Like, I think it's fun and cool, and I might want to pick it up at some point on sale or play it in Game Pass. But like, to me, Liza P went exactly where I wanted it to go in the Game Pass for me to try when I want. I
Yeah.
don't. I'm not running to play any Souls like or type or literally Souls games right now because they're just kind of all the same, man. You kill them, you get some sort of essence or something like that. You cash that in, get stronger in a few different areas or whatnot. Everyone has their cool moves that they got. Some of them have really dense maps. Some of them are um dense and open world. Some of them are dense and linear. And to me, it's the same thing. like I'm just kind of I'm kind of good feeling that. I mean, they all feel eerie. You're walking around, you're slowly just kind of taking your time through it and something like that. And my play style is not slow and take your time. My play style is I like things that are fast and I can get moving. That's why Atlas Fallen, although I know Vinny wasn't, he ended up not loving the game. Like that's why although I had some issues with that game myself, I still had good time because it's just like I was moving. I was
Yeah.
like getting through it. Like if I'm not having a good time and I'm playing a Souls game, I'm probably not getting very far.
Dude, same man.
At
And
least in Atlas Fallen or a game like that, I can be having a mediocre time in that session, but still feel like I'm making progress.
yeah. And speaking of Souls likes, because that's interesting. Because I think that Elden Ring, we're gonna figure out in the next 10 years. I feel like Elden Ring did to the industry what Skyrim did to the industry. Where it was like Skyrim came out and then everything was like, oh, we're doing open world games now. We gotta do open
Yeah. Oh,
worlds.
yeah. I mean, it's like GTA 3 pretty much.
GTA 3 is another one where it was just like, this is the standard of games the industry will be making for the next 10, 15 years. And you look at Elden Ring, and I loved Elden Ring. I put Elden Ring in my top 10 of all time. It's a phenomenal game, but I've tried other Souls games. I bought them. I've put money into every single other Souls game, even Bloodborne on PlayStation. I've tried playing them. I, I actually can't. I actually can't do it. And I get that the industry, they see this thing that made all this cash, and it's all a business. So they're like, hey, let's make some money. Hey, Phil Spencer's on screen now. But
Yeah, I see that.
they're all like, let's make some money, and it's like, I get that, but man, if you're not adding anything to it, like Liza P looks interesting because it's like the whole robot arm, all the different things you can do with it. That looks interesting. Plus, it's like Xbox's Bloodborne, or it's in that era because it's in Game Pass, although it is going everywhere. But looks interesting. But as far as other games, like I know Lords of the Fallen's another game that people are hyped for,
It's
and I'm
another
just
Souls like game to me, though. It's just like great.
yeah. When I see Lords of the Fallen, I'm like, this looks cool and all, but I'm not gonna play that probably. I don't think I'm
Yeah,
gonna
you know what else
buy.
looked really cool? You
What's
know what
that?
else looked really cool? Liza P. That looked really cool too. And I
Yeah,
tell you, it's not even a bad game. It's just when I turned it on and I started running, I just felt like I've been here before.
yeah,
I felt like I've done this before. And I do not like that when especially if you spend your money like hard-earned money on a specific game. Like that's exactly why I said Liza P is exactly where I want it to be. It's in Game Pass. I can turn it on when I feel like it, and I don't feel like I got burned. Lords of the Fallen is gonna be probably a dope game, but I know if I walked out and spent $60 or $70 or however much that is, I'm gonna run out, I'm gonna kill one enemy, and I'm gonna feel like I've done that before.
yeah,
It may be a cool new animation, but the fact of the matter is I die, I'll probably go to like some sort of site of grace and have to do it all over again.
yeah. And see, that's my thing with Souls games. I don't think I can't see myself buying another one. Black Myth looks awesome, but I'm just not. I'm not
Looks
buying.
amazing.
Yeah, I'm not buying a Souls game. I did that. I've spent about over $150 on it, and I didn't like. The only one I liked was Elden Ring. Um, so I'm all set with that. But the one I really want to talk about is Crimson Desert. You talked about it a little bit,
Well,
but Crimson, what's that?
before we go to that, I just want to say the closest I'll be to buying another Souls-like game is something like Wukong or Wolong,
Long. Yeah.
because it offers multiplayer. Like it offers 2-player co-op. And like Elden Ring, it was fine. It was really annoying with the flowers thing. But just the element of multiplayer. Like I said, I'm a co-op slut in these games. I
Yeah.
love co-op games. It's really a lot. So it just kind of frustrates me. I don't want to repeatedly feel like I'm buying the same game. And if I do feel like that, I at least want to be able to share the experience with somebody else. But anyways, I'm done with this topic.
Yeah, all right. Vinny, before we even get into Crimson Desert, it says Crimson Desert is another game that's not real. It will not meet anyone's expectations. Dude, I I've seen a lot of people say that, and I even told Ham, I was like, when I saw that, that's one of those games where I'm like, that looks too good to be true. But to be fair, that's what a lot of people said about Atomic Heart's combat before Atomic Heart came out. Specifically, there was that one boss fight where you fight that dude in like the arena, or whatever it is. That like that giant ball that tries to crush you and shoots lasers at you and shit.
What are you talking
And
about in
Atomic Heart.
oh yeah, the early one in like the
Mm-hmm.
arena
Yep.
kind of mission?
And there was that thing was in the trailers all the time, and whenever anyone saw that, there's no way this game plays like that. And then you play it, and it's like it plays exactly like that,
Mm-hmm.
110% like that. So hey, I'm gonna believe it until they give me a reason not to believe it, and maybe I get disappointed in the end. But it looks like an awesome game. But that game, man, Crimson Desert just looks. I saw somebody say it looked like Valhalla meets Red Dead meets Skyrim. And I'm like, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that because that is what that looks like to me. In fact, let me bring up that trailer here and let it play. I was talking to you about this last night, and you were saying like there were some low points in the trailer. I gotta be honest. When I talked to you, I didn't remember them because all I remember was the awesome shit. I went back and watched the trailer, and there's like moments where he's like carrying a cat or like holding a sheep. I'm just like, okay, what are you doing? What's going on here? But once it
So
gets into
so you're starting to know the cheesiness or better yet the dryness of what I'm talking about with some of that.
yeah, I can definitely see what you're talking about. Like once he jumps off that horse and he starts flying, it picks up from there. It's like a whole different game trailer. Um, but
Right.
but before that, it's like a lot of walking. He's petting cats. He's picking up what looks like bounties. I don't know really what that is, but yeah, like I remember when we were watching this during the show, Mike was saying, "Oh, it looks like Black Desert Online," and I'm like, as soon as he said online, I'm like, I just don't care. I don't. I checked out, and then at the end when it said Crimson Desert not online, I was like, holy shit, I'm in. Vinny says, pay attention to the movement and combat, and he say, pay attention to the movement and combat, and notice the jagged ass turns and long ass animations. Oh yeah, I mean, I don't think this game's coming out anytime soon. I don't think like this is definitely coming out this year.
Yeah, I remember yesterday, Matt, I said all that camera shaking was
Yeah,
unnecessary. Like
yeah,
to me, like the animation to all this fighting and it was like it looked like the person was like fighting in like a hurricane or a tornado or something like that because like the camera is just going nuts and the animation it does look unfinished, but at the same time it just like I'm just not sure how honest they're being with some of this gameplay being shown.
yeah. I mean, we're gonna find out. Because honestly, I'm kind of there with you guys. Like, I feel like it looks too good to be true. And I wouldn't be surprised if that turns out to be the case. But my God, if it ends up anything like this, like anything at all, then it's going to be nuts. Back from the
I
Dead
still
says,
think it looks more real than whatever they showed at that PlayStation showcase with that like Phantom Zero or whatever.
Oh,
or
dude,
whatever that.
that game is definitely vaporware. There's no way that isn't vaporware. I just refuse to believe that isn't vaporware.
I was
I
like,
don't.
how's this dude fighting on a train cart right now? And that is gameplay. Like how he's literally
Oh,
like
dude.
standing on like a rail on the train cart and like bouncing back and forth. The camera's going nuts. He's
Yep.
behind he's hiding behind a pillar and like seamlessly striking. And I'm just like, what is this? Like it's beautiful, don't get me wrong. It's beautiful, but what are
Yeah,
you
absolutely.
selling me?
Dude, it's one of those things. I look at that and I'm like, oh, it's vaporware. I'm not. That's not serious. But hats off to whoever animated that. Whatever team animated that, whoever did that, you guys killed it. You guys crushed it. I don't think your game's gonna look like that when it's done, but hey, it is what it is. Back from the Dead says Wolong Fallen Dynasty was interesting from the few hours I played. Yeah, dude, me and Ham ran through that. In fact, I wasn't gonna beat that until I started playing co-op with Ham, and once I played co-op with Ham, it was so much better. It was so much better. And then eventually I got about halfway through because Ham carried me about 90% of that. Not 90, about 80% of that game. Ham carried me. And then the back 20%, I felt like I was actually good enough where I was timing my parries correctly. I was doing what I was supposed to do in fights. And it's a pretty rewarding game.
What what is this?
I don't know. Chris Talbot. Oh my god. And Halo O2? What? What are you talking about, bud? I'm getting scared. I'm about to call the police, quite frankly. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. But yeah. I don't know. I don't know what that is. That threw me off, honestly. I can't lie to you. Just a bunch of numbers. I'm not reading that though, but good lord.
Yeah, it's a bot.
Yeah. But man, Crimson Desert. I'm there for it. Whenever it comes out. I don't think that's coming out anytime soon though. They didn't even give a release year on that trailer, so it is what it is. But as for other things at this showcase, are you excited? Excited, I don't think you are, but are you interested in Alan Wake 2 at all?
No, not even slightly.
Not even slightly.
I skipped right over the last like it was the last thing shown. Remember, I was like, I got
Mm-hmm.
10 minutes left, Matt. We'll
Mm-hmm.
talk about tomorrow's show in a minute. And like literally like 2 minutes later, I was like, I'm done.
You're done.
Because I just skimmed through the last 10 minutes. I was like, this isn't anything that I care about. And as soon as they said we got Sam Lake here, I was like, oh God, I'm good. Like I'm sure the game's gonna be dope, but it's just um anything like Resident Evil is really hard for me to get into. It just feels too somber and alone and boring to me. It's
That
just a
game
little
definitely feels
too
somber.
yeah, that whole somber feeling and like on your toes, but nothing's happening. It just kind of I feel like I use too much energy like mentally with those games that it ends up not being fun. Especially when I'm very like Last of Us to me is like the perfect balance for something like that.
Oh wow.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because Last of Us to me just has like a little bit different energy, moves a little bit faster. The the dialogue is just a little bit more entertaining and a little bit more easier for me to uh to be able to relate with
Mm-hmm.
compared to something like Resident Evil where it's like I don't feel like if this person was real they would be anybody like I feel like this person would be really dumb if they were real. Like that's how I feel like a lot of the like NPCs or like protagonists or antagonists in the like Resident Evil games and stuff like that. I don't know if it's like a Japanese thing or something like that, but they just feel like they're cool for what they do, but that's about it. As for like, I could see like Ellie or what's her name, the Abby.
Abby.
I could see those as like real people, like that are like, all right,
Yes.
scene's over, and I can have a conversation with them. Not as characters, but as like somebody that play the character, like Senua. When I seen Senua, I'm like, I bet that person actually has a personality behind this avatar
Character.
as a character.
Yeah.
But like, if somebody's playing as the if somebody's playing as the person from Resident Evil, I feel like if they shut off the camera and turned away, that they'd just be really stale or really rough to talk to.
Oh my god. That could be the case, honestly. I mean, yeah, Alan Wake 2 doesn't. It looks cool. Like, it looks great. It looks phenomenal. But I tried multiple times to play Alan Wake 1, and it's cool. It's interesting. But it's not, like, I don't love that game the way other people love that game. Like, there's like cult followers of that game, and I am not one of them. I'm
No,
really not. Um, But the final thing that I from this showcase that I thought was, I mean, just amazing, was Cyberpunk. Cyberpunk, like the intro of that trailer where the dude jumps off the bike in midair and just slams the ground. It just looks so damn awesome. But IGN has a few points here of things that are changing with this update. So you obviously get a new district, which is where Phantom Liberty will take place. Dozens of new story quests and gigs, vehicle combat and mounted weaponry, which you talked about earlier. That looks awesome. Vehicle combat in that
right?
game. I mean, it it's one of those things when I see that in the trailer, I'm like, honestly, this game should have been delayed another like 3 years because if that game launched with that, it would have been fantastic. Because there's not many games that do vehicular combat anymore. I mean, Just Cause did it. I'm trying to think. What's the last game that did that? Just vehicular combat and did it well.
Trying to think. I don't really know.
I same here. I have no idea. I mean, I think of like Twisted Metal when I was a kid. I think of what was that one game that was like the Twisted Metal competitor? I want to say it was like Vigilante.
Vigilante 8.
Vigilante 8 was sick. Was awesome. I even liked that a little bit more than Twisted Metal at the time. I can't remember if it was Twisted Metal 2 at that time. I'm not entirely sure. I can't remember.
I'm pretty sure it was like Twisted Metal like 3 at that
3?
time.
Yeah, dude. Vigilante 8. I mean, they were both great, but Vigilante 8 was my thing. But ever since those games, you don't get vehicular combat in games like that. And seeing like missiles mounted on the back of your car and Cyberpunk with already so many things going on, it just looks awesome. The revamped police system, which they desperately needed, because the police in Cyberpunk stink right now. If you play
Yeah.
that game, Back from the Dead says some of the James Bond games had okay view. That's a good point actually. Spy Hunter
Yeah.
was also another game. Spy Hunter was another game.
Spy Hunter. I mean, but we're reaching all the way back into the
Exactly.
original Xbox and 360 days. Like, I'm trying to
Exactly.
think of something like within this last generation, maybe like Rage.
That's Rage probably did it the best, honestly. It's Rage or Just Cause. Both of those probably did it the best. I can't think of another one this last generation. It's crazy because there used to be so many games like that where it was just obviously Vigilante 8 and Twisted Metal were the ones, but there were so many copycats of that, and now it's just not the case anymore. So it's good to see that that's in Cyberpunk is really the point I'm trying to make. Combat AI overhaul in Cyberpunk, again, desperately needed. The AI in Cyberpunk, especially when you're in combat, are not the best. It says endless dynamic events and missions. I don't even know what that means, honestly. But just, I guess, never running out of dynamic events and missions, which just sounds crazy. I don't know how that works.
To
Redesigned
me,
side.
that sounds like contracts or like mercenary missions or something like Grand Theft Auto had, where you were doing like, except it won't be online, but
Yeah.
but you know how you do those like contracts or something like that in that game.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's definitely interesting. Dude, there's like so much stuff in this new update. Redesigned cyberware and perks, all new relic skill tree and abilities, increased level cap, and then finally 100 plus new weapons, new items, weapons, cyberware, and fashion. So it's like a complete. It's like a remade game almost, and you will be getting that whether you buy Cyberpunk Phantom Liberty or not. That's like when you boot up Cyberpunk 2077 on September 26th, you will have that update that gives you all of those things, whether or not you buy the DLC, which I think is fantastic. So the game changes for everybody, which is nice. Are you? I don't think I asked you. I'm pretty sure I have, but I don't remember your answer. Have you? Are you getting Family Liberty? Probably not day one. I'm assuming, but are you getting it anytime?
No, I'm not getting it day one, but I will probably get it sometime around the launch of like Forza.
Oh, okay.
Because I want to download it and play it just with the update
Yeah.
for a little bit, just to get used to it before I then like I want to run around. I want to spec my character. I want to try out my character, see if I like it. Um, Maybe respec if I need to. Get used to that, and then I'll purchase the DLC once I kind of figured out my character again. I don't want
That
to
makes
just like
sense.
go run into the DLC and have to respec everything and have no idea what's going on.
Yeah. Dude, yes. Once I get into Phantom Liberty, well, I'm not even gonna jump right into it because I'm gonna start a whole new game. I'm gonna beat Cyberpunk again, and then I'll get into Phantom Liberty. But it's like God knows when that's gonna happen because Starfield is just the big ass bully at the end of the year, right now. For a lot of these
Yeah, I have a
games.
new game I started with Nomad, so I might even do that too and just like start fresh and just leave my character where it is and have possibly two endings ready to go, you know?
That's not a bad idea. That's not a bad idea. You didn't beat Cyberpunk the first time when you played it?
Yeah, I beat it.
Okay, yeah, you
Yeah,
did.
yeah, I beat it. I was uh um space drifting.
Space Drifting. What does that mean?
The ending, I was just kind of
Oh,
drifting.
ooh. Okay, my bad. All right, my bad. Oh, Blind Giant in the chat. What's up, sir? Good morning, gentlemen. Hey, it's noon for me, Blind, but God, it's like 6 a.m. or something for you. Good Lord. God bless you guys over there. I don't know why. Seems like Narnia to me. Uh, but man, yeah, I'm skimming through these other announcements from Gamescom. Dude, Marvel Snap. I mean, I'm not hyped for that, but that dude who's on the team is very hyped for it, and God bless him, because
Yeah,
he's got
the way he was scanning the crowd and everything was just like that man was he was on he was on coffee and cocaine. Like this
that
man was out of his mind.
he
He
was
was
li- he was
like
literally
the guy was
scanning the
like
crowd.
Jeff was like, "We got this guy here," and the guy was like, "Oh, Jeff, I didn't even know you were there." And I was like, "Oh my god, can't
Dude,
do it."
literally scanning the crowd. He looked like he was looking for his next victim. He looked like he was ready to kill someone. But he was so enthusiastic. God bless that guy, honestly. And he's like,
Man,
dude.
he had the energy of a Jehovah's Witness on Sunday after having the time of his life at a choir show the night before or
Yeah.
whatever. It was just like, I, it's just insane how consistent he stays like that.
Oh yeah, dude. And then his whole thing where it was like, it's like this game looks insane on PC, and then they show you the game. I'm like, it looks like a card game. I don't know. It looks like a card game. I don't know. Dude. He was
Ray
so
trace
ecstatic for it.
cards.
Right? It's gonna be like 4K 120 ray tracing with a card game. I will say, I mean, God bless him. The animation was really awesome for the lead up to it's a card game. The animation looked pretty cool. But yeah, I don't know, not my kind of game, not my kind of game, and
My kind of guy, not my kind of game.
that yeah, my kind of
It's
guy,
like,
definitely.
I mean, if I could get that type of energy when they talk about Halo, that'd be
Oh, dude,
amazing.
you imagine that when Halo launched, Joseph Staten's up on stage scanning the audience, just going nuts.
Just grinding his teeth.
Oh God, I'd be scared, honestly. I'd be a little bit scared. But dude, fantastic. Yeah, looking at these other ones, I mean, yeah, I don't know. I thought Little Nightmares 3 looked cool, but I never played Little Nightmares 1 and 2. So,
I just want to hand that guy a stick of gum and watch it turn to dust.
he just he's you hand him a stick of gum, he just swallows it instantly. Oh God. Dude, he's gonna chew his teeth away. That guy. Dude. Killing Floor 3 looked interesting. Yeah, but that's Gamescom opening night live. What do you give that show? If you had to rate it, you didn't. What do you give that out of 10?
Like a 6.
I'm. Man, that's not bad. That's not bad. 6 out of 10. That's fair. I'm close to that. I'd say maybe a 5. Maybe.
I gave the PlayStation Showcase 4.
I gotta think, was this better than the PlayStation? Dude, I don't remember the PlayStation show. That's the problem with how bad that was. I don't remember it. I don't remember a thing from
And
it.
then Jeff Keighley's last show, I think I gave that I either gave that a 5 or 6. I think I gave it a 5.
I'm thinking of
For,
Summer Games Fest.
Yeah, Summer Games Fest.
I don't think. Yeah, I don't think that this was better than Summer Games Fest. I don't think it was.
I'm trying to remember what was that damn Summer's Games Fest.
Summer Games Fest. God, what was that? Well, that's the thing. It's like, I don't know. Same with PlayStation. I don't know what was that.
I
Other
remember
than
the Spider-Man date was there.
Yeah.
I know Alan Wake was there. Immortals of Avium was probably there.
Immortals of Avium was also at PlayStation's.
Yeah. I don't really remember a whole lot from the Summer Games Fest, but I know it was better than the PlayStation one. And I remember the PlayStation one because I watched it so many times from all the other YouTubers that was buying.
Watching the reactions to that was just a phenomenal time.
I remember the Summer Games Fest had some pretty good games though. I'd say this one was about tied with that one.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I might give this one a little bit of a higher score. I don't remember what I gave Summer Games Fest, but I'd have to give this one a higher score just because Crimson Desert stuck out to me. First Descendant stuck out to me. Cyberpunk was there, obviously. You know, we did see a new Starfield trailer. I got to give it some sort of higher rating than I gave Summer Games Fest. But that's really all I can say about it. Up next, though, a very big topic from this week is Microsoft to sell off Activision cloud gaming rights to Ubisoft in a bid for UK approval. This, to me, was, I mean, it was shocking, honestly, but it it's just hilarious. Oh, Stanley Francois in the chat. What's up, sir? What is going on? Uh, yeah, Stanley Francois says, yeah, I gave the show a 6 too, only because we already knew about the games there. Yeah, there wasn't anything there outside of Crimson Desert that I didn't know was already a thing. And all the things that I didn't know were already a thing are things I really don't care about. So, it's not very highly rated for me. But man, getting back to Ubisoft and Microsoft, this confused the hell out of me when I woke up, because I woke up yesterday pretty early in the morning and I check my phone and I see, oh, Microsoft is selling Activision Blizzard, or just giving Activision Blizzard streaming rights to Ubisoft. And then I also saw Jez saying, well, it looks like the deal's dead. And I'm just like, what's going on? I don't know what's going on. I'm going back to bed. And then I got up, watched that show, and then I tuned into you guys talking about it. And Llouck was very adamant that it seemed like this was just a ploy between Microsoft and Ubisoft to just fleece the UK government, which I thought was quite hilarious. But I'll read the beginning of this article here. It says, Microsoft is restructuring its proposed Activision Blizzard deal to transfer cloud gaming rights for current and new Activision Blizzard games to Ubisoft. The transfer of rights is designed to appease regulators in the UK that are concerned about the impact Microsoft's proposed $68.7 billion deal will have on the cloud gaming competition. The restructured deal has triggered a new regulatory investigation in the UK that could last until October 18th. Now, I don't know about you, Ham, but wasn't October 18th already the date? Like, thought it was.
Like for the final closing or whatnot.
Yeah, because it's supposed to be August, and then I swear they extended it. I know it was into October, and I swear it was the 18th.
Yeah, I mean, I could be wrong, but I thought it was that already. So
Yeah, so I woke up and I was like, why is Jez saying that this deal is dead? And then I got up and I was like, oh, this doesn't look like anything's changed. Honestly, were you surprised to see this? I'm assuming you were surprised to see this.
I was surprised to see that there was a change, as big as a divestiture, but after looking into it and seeing, what all gonna actually come to fruition from it, I'm just like, oh, this is silly, first of all.
Yeah.
but at the same time, okay, it's not that big of a deal for somebody like myself that's a consumer. As for me as a consumer, it doesn't bother me. I feel like this is more or less for them to pretend like Microsoft isn't giving them something that they're really getting from Microsoft. Because that's what it looks like. I was describing the look. I was like, it's like instead of asking Peter, you ask Pat to pay, but you still got to pay Paul. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You're just taking a different route to make the same situation. It just has somebody else's name on the check compared to what it had before. So it looks like it came from that person when it really didn't.
Exactly. The more I read into this, especially after listening to you guys talk about it, it just seems like the 15 years is important. Because, to be clear, this deal is for 15 years. So for 15 years, once this closes, Ubisoft will have, Microsoft will be lending the rights to stream Activision Blizzard games to Ubisoft. once that 15 years is up, it's like I don't know what happens, but anything can happen at that point. And I remember Loke saying that if they were really concerned about the cloud gaming market, like if that was really their concern, they would deny this. But I just think it's hilarious. It's gonna be hilarious when they accept this under the pretense that it's great for the cause that they were out for, when in fact it is not. It would be not very great for that cause. But do you think they're gonna accept this by October 18th?
I don't.
You don't. Okay.
Uh-uh. I
Interesting.
don't think they will. And I mean, maybe that's just me kind of saying they don't, so they do. But like, but I don't think they will, just because I think their whole plan is to drag it out.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's what it seems like up to this point. They seem like they're very adamant on making this go as long as possible. But here's the thing: if it gets to October 18th and this thing ain't closed, and they're still throwing a fit about it, I think Microsoft just slam dunks it. I think Microsoft just Vince Carter's right on top of them. Just
You think so?
I think they because like Microsoft has done like they've already told like with the EU. The EU had basically the same concerns. Microsoft gave them a solution to those concerns, and the EU was like, "Oh, okay, that works fine." But the CMA is still sitting here like it's not fine. It's not fine, even though everyone else says it's fine. It's not fine, and they're just I don't know. I think they're being difficult right now, and they want to win, which is like say politics and everything, but it's like I think if this isn't done by October 18th, I think Microsoft just closes. I think
I
Microsoft just
feel like
closes
this
it.
is I feel like this is like two twins, and like the parents are the people, and they just have to watch like these two 4-year-olds pretty much just like see how far they take each other before one just loses their mind and screams "Mom," or something like that, and like tries to show us something, and Microsoft's over here trying to like say, instead of the people having to like worry about this so much, why don't we just give it to Ubisoft and have Ubisoft be the babysitter,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
And yeah, it just seems really silly. It's just a big old to me. At the end of the day, these are just two companies, or like one being a government and one company seeing how far they can push it, and then the other one seeing how far that they can push it, and seeing who wins the the dick measuring contest, I guess. Like,
yeah.
who can get Thrax the hardest? Like, I don't know.
The CMA
It,
can.
yeah,
Good lord.
it seems that way, but then it always seems like the CMA is like, hold that thought, I'll be right back. And then we
Yeah.
hit near another deadline. And to me, like I said, I think they might uh are possibly trying to drag this out, but at the same time, it's like the cat tribunal did tell them to kind of like work together to figure this out, like pretty
Hmm.
much like wrangling in the kids and telling them just to fucking figure it out and quit your bitching.
Yeah.
And I thought it was just a little weird, that it's still August and it's up until October 18th, right?
Hmm.
So if the CMA's gonna try to sit on this, they still got they still got like over a month and a half
Yep.
of trying to wiggle around, and that's uh, I'm not sure. I'm sure at some point somebody's gonna be like, "Yo, let's get this ball rolling."
You would
Right?
hope.
There's no way. There's no way. There's gonna be another month and a half of just paper pushing.
Yep.
Like something's gonna happen. I just don't. I just think that the CMA is gonna be like, "Nah, this doesn't work out," and then drag it out. But I don't know how many more times that they can say, "Nah, this ain't gonna work." You know what I mean?
That
I don't know if
yeah.
they can do it for a month and a half.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's why I think if they come back and they find that this isn't sufficient enough for them, I genuinely think Microsoft closes over them and they'll figure it out later. Cuz like even if they close over them, it's still something they got to figure out. It would have been the same for like if the FTC won their whole case against them and everything, and Microsoft could have just said, "Fuck it, we'll close it anyway, and we'll figure it out later." Like it would be the same exact situation, just now it's in the UK. Back from the Dead says Ubisoft got a better deal than PlayStation. You could argue, you could definitely argue because they get more than Call of Duty. They get more than Call of Duty, which is something, you know. But this whole thing here, I mean, I don't think anything. I don't think this changes anything. I think that we're gonna have the exact same end result. I think by the time we get to Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3, um, I think Activision Blizzard will be Microsoft owned by the time we get to that. So, yeah, I mean, hey, only a few more months, only one more full month to figure out what's going to happen here. And hopefully within the next month, we actually figure it out and we don't have to actually go to October 18th. Because I'm not trying to do that, to be quite honest. But speaking speaking of cloud services and Game Pass and everything, did you hear that Nvidia GeForce Now is actually getting Game Pass?
No, well, I didn't know that they were getting Game Pass.
I'm gonna bring it up. I'm gonna bring it up right on
That's
the screen
amazing.
here. So yeah, so back in I think it was May, I believe, they got a few games from Game Pass, and the end goal was to end up getting everything from Game Pass into GeForce Now, and it's a slow trickle of that process. But let's bring it up here on the screen for you guys. Oh, articles. Okay. There we go. It says Microsoft's PC Game Pass arrives on NVIDIA's GeForce Now service this week, and this is from The Verge. It says NVIDIA is starting to roll out access to PC Game Pass and Microsoft Store titles on its GeForce Now streaming service this week. PC Game Pass subscribers will be able to start streaming titles through GeForce Now on August 24th, including first-party Microsoft games like Deathloop, Grounded, as well as third-party titles like No Man's Sky and Mountain Blade 2 Bannerlord. I believe the games that were in there already is Gears 5. Let me see. I'm pretty sure it was another game too, but it was definitely Gears 5 and something else. But yeah, Deathloop comes to NVIDIA GeForce Now, as well as Grounded, which it's an interesting choice. I would have imagined something else would come before Grounded, but yeah, it is what it is. Um, have you tried GeForce Now? I don't think you have you?
No, no. I mean, my computer has it installed and everything, and
Mm-hmm.
I've never actually tried it. I've never had a reason to.
Yeah, I don't blame you. Once you got it, once you actually have like a pretty good computer, like GeForce Now is great and everything. Especially nowadays, it's great. But I don't need to buy GeForce Now right now. I'm all set. But it is like probably the most uh, efficient cloud service right now. Like I enjoy xCloud, especially because xCloud's so easy, and plus I already have the account and everything. But like, as far as quality streams, it's GeForce Now. But they're getting Deathloop, an arcane banger, which is actually fantastic. And this is part of the 10-year agreement that they signed with Nvidia to license Xbox PC games to GeForce Now. And that's in regards to the whole Activision Blizzard acquisition. But I wonder how much GeForce Now is. I'm going to look that up real quick while I'm talking. But yeah, that's something I wanted to bring up because it's definitely interesting. It, continues the ball rolling on this whole acquisition process and all these deals that Microsoft made. I know GeForce Now's got some stuff, but has stuff like Boosteroid gotten anything? Because I haven't heard anything about Boosteroid.
I haven't heard anything about them either, and I think that's something that would have to wait until after the deal is done to get ironed out, specifically since it has to do with Call of Duty.
Oh, true. That's true. Dude, they made so many deals with so many different people. It was kind of nuts. It's like a new deal every day for like 2 weeks there. It felt like. But we can get, I just want to bring that up real quick, but we can get into a little bit of Starfield stuff. And I'm going to go ahead and show this trailer of the new live action trailer for Starfield, which to me looked amazing. That was one of the best live action trailers I've seen. And I don't think they said a word in that trailer either, which is another thing I like in live action trailers. But yeah, dude, I say it like every 10 minutes, but I can't wait for this game, man. I just can't wait for this game. It's a problem. It's an issue. It's not healthy, and it's going to be gross how much it messes up my schedule. My sleep schedule.
Oh, I'm ready for it.
Dude,
I'm ready for it. I'm ready for my daughter to need to go to school, and I haven't been to sleep yet.
It's gonna
as soon as I take her to school, I'm a crash. I'm gonna go to McDonald's, get like some like sausage biscuit, and then come home and fucking eat it and crash. That's exactly what I'm planning on happening Sunday night to Monday. Like after we get done with our podcast on Sunday, I'm gonna be playing Starfield probably until I have to take my daughter to school.
Yep. Dude, it's literally, we have one episode of that show, and then the next episode is Starfield's out for a few days at that point. It's gonna be fantastic. It's gonna be fantastic. Then we got Bullshit next week, and since I don't have to host that show, I gotta be honest and upfront, I'm playing Starfield the whole show. I'm just gonna.
Well, yeah, I figured you have. It's not the first time you played a game on our show.
But yeah, it's the first time I played Starfield on the show, though, and that's special. That's just special.
That's fair. You're gonna be marking it down like a newborn baby book. Like, this is the first time I played Starfield while doing this. This is the first time I laced up my shoes while Starfield was loading.
This is the first meal I ate after Starfield released. It's gonna be that kind of thing.
Yeah. It's gonna be funny because I already have the idea, and I told you a while back that I'm probably gonna pick up Starfield and go straight to Firehouse and sit down and eat with my game. Oh yeah, I'm taking my game out to lunch because it ain't gonna see the light of day again after it.
Dude, it's gonna be fantastic. I'll tell you what, I'm probably gonna. Now I'm hungry. I'm thinking about Starfield, and now I'm hungry. God damn, dude, this is tragic. But there's the marketing hype for Starfield. I remember it wasn't too long ago. It was the end of last month, beginning of this month actually, when we were talking about the marketing hype for this game being quite underwhelming.
Right.
And here we are about a week away from its release, and the marketing is just kicked into full swing. Like it's just night and day. And it's not even just marketing from Xbox or Bethesda. it's like just in general people talking about it. Like you see a video of Post Malone signing autographs, and Post Malone's like, "I'm gonna play the shit out of Starfield." And I'm just like, that's free marketing. Like that's kind of what this game does, or a game of this caliber does. It's like you don't even really need to market it because Post Malone is gonna market it for you. Like
Right.
that's that's the level that this game is on. And then you see things like, I know you didn't watch it, but yesterday there was that whole leak that I'm not going to go into any detail on. But there was that whole thing, and then you saw the dude who leaked it yesterday posted a video like, Todd, that's a you got a great damn game, Todd. And it's just like you hear stuff like that, and it's just so exciting. Then you see all the tweets, all the cryptic tweets from people who got review codes where they don't tweet for like 2-3 days, and then Mr. Matty Plays posted that photo of like Patrick with bloodshot eyes, and I'm like, dude, he's been playing Starfield for like 24 hours. I just know it, this lucky bastard. And it's like, man, we're just so close to this game. I got the Starfield Direct up, by the way, playing. Stanley Francois says, "Yeah, I thought the live action trailer was great. I also thought it was gonna be a movie. It could have been with the production on that trailer. It could have fooled me. It honestly didn't look too different from the Rebel Moon trailer. In terms of just aesthetically, it didn't look too different. Obviously, budgets are quite different there, but you know what I mean. But man,
Yeah,
I
I thought
mean,
it was a nice touch, but it didn't really get me going any further than Starfield's got me going.
yeah,
I'm ready to play it. Like I don't need to see anybody being pretending to be who I'm gonna be because he looked all nice and cute, and I know how I'm gonna play. It ain't gonna be that way. Like I don't know. Like I don't know if that kid would be happy to see me because I'm gonna come
kids
back all
terrified of you.
bloody, and that kid will be like, "What the hell you been up?
Kids
You want to
terrified of you.
live? If you want to live, I think you should leave."
Dude, it's fantastic. That I thought the trailer was sick. I mean, there's so much going on around Starfield. We talked a little bit about it on Game Train, where it was like people talking about menu screens, just silly nonsense. And then you had people like, "Oh, I got hundreds of accounts ready to review bomb this." Again, silly nonsense. But that's what this game is doing to people. That is what this game is doing to people. And in a lot of cases, or not a lot of cases, but in one particular case, not just regular everyday people, but an ex developer. Just someone who's been in the industry before, just being a fool because of Starfield. And it's shocking to see. And it does kind of remind you how big this game is. How big of a reach this game has. I think, and I told you yesterday, I think the closer we get to it, the more I start to think this could be Bethesda's best game they've ever done. It's totally possible. I think it's
Is it crazy that I think it will be?
no, no, it's not.
I totally think it will be just because of the the idea that they had this time around with involving space and just like pretty much saying that you do what you want to do, RPG style, sure, but like the way they implemented you doing what you want to do, I thought was pretty damn amazing.
Mm-hmm.
From creating your own ship to who you talk to and get rid of, and I mean, a lot of it sounds like, yeah, I know this is Bethesda and whatnot, but the amount of times that you thought about yourself when you were a kid in school and being an astronaut or looking up late at night and seeing the stars out there or
Mm-hmm.
hearing about Elon Musk and SpaceX, or if you were young
Yeah.
enough to remember some of the NASA mission or old enough to remember some of the NASA missions and stuff like that. space has always been something that's been talked about forever, and life being outside of the the world has always been something that's been interesting. But you know, having a game that kind of makes you feel like you're the center of the universe, but you can go explore and find things that others won't find and have an experience that somebody else won't have. I mean, I think all of that inside of a video game is like kind of a dream come true. I could say all the way back in the like early PlayStation days for me, like, you know, once 3D games got big and I started seeing stuff like Grand Theft Auto 3 be made, like
Yeah.
in the PlayStation 2 days, like then you're like, oh my God, this is the size of this is unreal. Going from city to city, having them load screens in between. The two cities going like the from Staten Island to like the next city or Liberty City or whatever.
Yep.
Um, I thought that was just so enormous and nuts, and that's normal now, right?
Oh yeah.
But
Oh yeah.
what's not normal is what No Man's Sky did with being able to take your ship and then go straight into space with it. It's not normal, right? The thing that
Mm-hmm.
was missing from No Man's Sky is the feeling that you have the choice to do whatever. It felt like in No Man's Sky, it feels like a bunch of checklist stuff. It feels like it's a never ending checklist in No
Yeah.
Man's Sky of things to do. You don't really have too many options, and the game is kind of force forcing you to like continue to recover things to keep moving. This game, I feel like, with them mentioning, we're not going to have like your gas tank run empty, and like
Oh
you're going to
yeah.
be able to keep it moving and stuff like that in this game. The element of freedom in this just seems, it just doesn't seem to have an end point,
Dude,
and that's what.
exactly.
And when I was a little kid playing the GTA 3 and whatnot, that's how I felt playing that game. I was like, where is the end? And then once I reached the end, I was like, this isn't even my end. I'm gonna
Yeah.
keep going and doing random weird stuff. And like I was making like this is back when VCRs were a thing. So like I'd record like gameplay of myself like on my VCR of me like pretty much like making my own show and just causing havoc
Mm-hmm.
with like a silent protagonist that didn't really have any more missions to go. I was just running around the city driving. You know, remember back in those days, driving, stopping at the lights, looking left
Mm-hmm.
and right, trying to make the turn, not trying not to mess up your car, trying not to get in trouble. And when you get in trouble, you just go crazy, you go berserk, start putting in the cheat codes and stuff like that.
Yep.
I can see this game just being so insane just with because Loke said it yesterday. He's like, this isn't a one and done. And I was like,
No.
technically it is. Technically it is. It's just one, and I don't know when I'm done.
Okay.
It can totally be one of those kind of things because there's gonna be a ton of people that only need one playthrough. But that one playthrough is gonna take them a year,
Yeah.
maybe a couple. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I mean, if you're a madman, maybe just a few months, but a few months is a lot longer than I could say for what I did with Atlas Fallen or what I'm going to do with the upcoming Spider-Man. Spider-Man's going to last me. I mean, unless I decide to platinum it, it's going to last me like a week,
Yeah.
maybe two, maybe two if I feel like stretching it. I just
Sure.
don't
Yeah.
see it lasting me all month long. I don't see it. I don't see myself mid-November saying, "Man, I'm still trying to get through Spider-Man." I just don't see that.
Oh yeah, dude. I mean, like I said multiple times, like I don't know if I'm there day one on Spider-Man, but if I am, I'm not gonna be playing that in the middle of November. That'll be something like I'm done with that or maybe not even started. That's the problem, man. I just keep coming back to it. But I mean, even with Starfield, it's like once you beat it, you figure they add mods to the game, and mods are gonna add a whole other thing to it, where it's just, especially on PC when you go to like Nexus mods and stuff. But once they add even the mod menu on console, it's gonna be nuts. Because it was when they did that for Fallout 4. All the stuff they had when they brought it mods to Fallout 4 was just crazy, and that was on console. So it's gonna add a whole nother, like, new quests. It's gonna add new weapons, new followers. It's it's gonna be insane. I feel like this
Well,
game's gonna. What's that?
remember the premium pack already sells you like the first DLC that's gonna be.
Yep. Yep.
So you already have that to look forward to if you got the premium bundle or the whatever the $35 thing was. You already got a DLC to look forward to, and you know that this game is gonna be riddled full of DLCs in the
Oh yeah.
future.
I would have.
And like not only DLCs from Bethesda, but people are gonna make their own
Yep.
DLCs.
Yep. I'm so excited to see this stuff because, like, you'd imagine from Bethesda, typically they do what, 3 to 5 DLCs per game. You got that stuff. Then you've also got what you just said. All the folks making quests, all the folks making companions, all the folks making, like, populating planets, like taking a planet that's completely barren and just populating it with whatever the hell they want. It's gonna be nuts, dude. It's gonna be so insane. I'm interested to boot that up. I think Mike brought up the point the other day. I'm interested to boot that up and see how big a planet is. Like, are you literally exploring a planet, or is it parts of the planet that you go to? I'm interested to see how you can explore on the barren planets specifically, or the resource heavy planets, I guess you call them.
I'm interested in seeing how many or if there's a limited amount of ways that I can land my ship. Like I want to know like, hey, do I have to land at this like area near town or do I have can I literally just pick up my ship and drive, I don't know, 100 yards and land it
Yeah.
and be like, oh crap, I wanted to do this thing and come and be right there and then decide I want to go 30 miles and then 40 miles and then 10 miles and then 300 miles. Like like
Hmm.
like like, like, like I really want to be able to just like pick up and leave and just land and be like, okay, like if I started over here and had to walk 3 miles before, I want to be able to the next time I land over there to not have to run that 3 miles. I want to land right where I wanted to pick up the resource that
Oh
I
yeah.
found.
Okay.
Right.
I get
Right.
that.
So as long as they, because I know leaving the planet and coming into the planet is gonna be like a cutscene, pretty much, or like a load screen.
Yeah.
So I'm just hoping that I can still drive my ship while being in orbit.
Oh, okay. I get you. Yeah,
So
it
I
would
can
be
land in
interesting.
multiple spots. Yeah.
It would be interesting to see that. I mean, that would be awesome. That would definitely be awesome, especially if the planets are huge and like there's multiple different locations on them. That would be great to see. But man, it's not long until we find out. It's not long until we find out, dude. And I, I mean, I can't keep saying it, man. But yeah, that's the show. That's the
Are
show.
you
Because
hyped, Mike? Or Matt, are you hyped?
yes, I'm excited. Oh god. But that is the show, guys. That is the show. I think we can get right into our outros here. Ham, we're gonna start with you, but where can they find you? Let people know where you're at, what you're doing.
So if you guys don't already know, you can find me here every Wednesday on K Mega's channel, K Mega 405 on Fridays, 8 p.m. Central. But on if you want to catch a lot of what I do, I have my own channel, TSWS Gaming, here on YouTube. I do shows Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday.
Link in the description
Um,
for that if you're interested.
yeah, yeah, definitely come through, check it out. We welcome all sorts of different type of people. I don't care what your main platform is, as long as you enjoy gaming, you like cracking jokes, you like you don't mind taking a joke. We'll definitely give you a good time over on TSWS Gaming, or you can find me on Twitter at HamSolo05 Gaming. Thanks, man.
There you go. There you go. And as for myself, you can check me out on Twitter at MattLikesGames. On here as well, obviously. Every Wednesday I do this show with Ham, 11 a.m. Eastern. And then on Mondays and Fridays, I do videos that launch 11 a.m. Eastern. So check that out. And that's where you can find me. That's where you can find Ham. And with that being said, we can hop up out of here and we will see you guys next week. Peace.